Hi there, F96 here, and welcome to part 2 of parametric-like beveled edges between irregular low-poly mesh objects. Quite a mouthful. Last time, we've taken two cylinders, unioned them together, and we made a real smooth bevel around the intersections, sort of like this. And today, we're going to do the same thing with different irregular-shaped objects. So, yeah, let's get started. To the left you have some cubes that have been unioned together, and then here we have some balls, and here we have another cylinder that's circle in front and kind of flattened at the back, and here we have a more complex join that we're going to do. For now, let's start with the simple one here. As with the first tutorial, we're going to duplicate this cylinder. Now, if you don't know what this is, then you might want to go review part 1 of the video that shows you the very basics of how to do this. First, select the base mesh, add a boolean modifier, select the cookie cutter cylinder, union, apply, delete, select, and then select the top cap face, move it down a little bit, about here. Select the second cylinder, bottom cap face, move it up a little bit like this. Select both objects, join them, and while the edge rings are selected, Control E, bridge edge loops, select the outer edge, like this, and dissolve it. Then you add two more edge rings, actually add one for now, right? And then move it down, go to front view, select this edge, do a Shift V to slide the vertices down, Shift, like that. Don't go too far though, you don't want to go under that circular edge, like just here would be okay. Right, and then scale it down a little bit. Move it up a little bit. Okay, and then we'll do another loop cut here. Scale it there. Select both of these edges. Quite smooth already as it is. Yeah, so let's not add a bevel. Smooth shade it, add an edge split. That's it. Smooth enough. Next, the ball sack. The first cylinder has to be scaled up like that. And then let's move this whole thing down, and then we add a boolean modifier, select the cookie cutter, do a union. Again, I mean, this whole thing starts to become routine as you can hear me talk. And that's great because it should be uneventful. You shouldn't have to go fix up things and clean some meshes because some of the stuff didn't work, and that's the whole point about this. The second point is so that you can maintain a fairly low poly mesh without introducing any extraneous vertices, as you might do with if you were using the subsurf modifier or be using metaballs. Okay, nice. Alright, so let's add a loop cut, do a Shift V. I think it's a manual bevel. It doesn't really require any bevel tools. Yeah, okay. And then this could be a little bit higher, and let's do another loop cut here. And I think it's smooth enough, to be honest. Let's just smooth it, add an edge split modifier, and that's it, basically. Yeah. Okay, so I'll just leave this one for a rainy day, maybe. We'll work on the more complex one. This is going to take a lot of time, but I'm hoping this video is less than 10 minutes. Yeah, so I'm going to try it this way. This is to show the various stages required. Let's go to wireframe. And here we see like each of these objects having a bigger size. So we have the original squiggly object that I'm highlighting here, and I'm using shrink or fatten to fatten it up a little bit. The fat one is going to eat or bite into the smaller cylinder, and the bigger cylinder is going to bite in to the smaller squiggly cylinder, right? So I'll show you what I mean. Over here we have the smaller squiggly cylinder, but it's being bitten off by the bigger cylinder, so it's going to look like that, right? So it's chomp, right? It's going to eat it like that. I'm just going to use very simple terminologies here for now, so I'm just, like bites, but in fact they're booleans, of course, right? So we've got the bigger squiggly cylinder biting a chunk off of the smaller cylinder, right? So, review. Big cylinder bites smaller squiggly cylinder. Bigger squiggly cylinder bites the smaller cylinder. Never mind. Anyway, the result is like this. So you got a fairly good space between the bites. Alright? And then you have to clean the faces that are inside, and after that you'll get to this stage. Now, I assume you should be able to do all these 4 stages on your own, right? So when you get to this stage, that's where you have to pay attention, because doing the regular bridge edge loop isn't going to work, not that well anyway, but we can create a variation that would make it work and produce something like this. Alright, so let's delete this one here, and we'll start from this point onwards. So let's duplicate. So let's edit, and once again the 2 edge rings are selected. So let's do a Control E just for example. All right, bridge edge loops. This is a problem because there's a lot of triangulation happening. It makes it impossible to create an edge loop at the center because, for one thing, the edge over here is broken and the edge up there is broken. So it's impossible to create loop cuts here. The loop cuts will be broken as well. Almost no solution here. There is one which kind of involves cleanup. So let's clean up a little bit to give you an idea of what you can do, which isn't really my favorite way. So let's do it this way. So if you dissolve a couple of slanting edges, then you should be able to do a loop cut here. How about a loop cut all around? Well, you'll have to dissolve these 2 edges here also. Well, Mr. Loop Cut is saying okay. What about here? If I remove these or dissolve these, well, what would Mr. Loop Cut say? Well, Mr. Loop Cut says, yeah, go ahead. Alright, so that means I can go on with the rest here. Alright, so maybe if I dissolve that, and maybe this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and that one, what would Mr. Loop Cut say? Oh, I'm sorry. I can't do this part in the middle over here. Right, so it's got to be a quad, otherwise the loop cut wouldn't work. Alright, so how do I make it into a quad? Well, let's just introduce a subdivision up there and slide the vertices there and do a J, just connect them. Then what would Mr. Loop Cut say? That's fine, good. So that means you have to do this, cleanup work for all around here. Yeah. I mean, it's a workable solution. I mean, yeah. But isn't there a faster way of doing this? Yes, there is. So let me just undo that. Let's go back to edit mode. To make a quad face that Mr. Loop Cut likes, make a face from opposite edges. And then select either one of these side edges and do an F and create a face like that. Actually, let's just dissolve this one here. We don't need that. Alright. And press F all around, but it doesn't mean you can just blindly press F though, because you'll see something like this. I mean, this is too long of an edge, and I mean, you want to make sure it looks squarish instead of knife looking. You might want to put a subdivision here. Anyway, so you create a subdivision here and continue on pressing F and making sure there are no knives. Yeah, that looks okay. Okay, that's fine, I guess. Right. No, definitely not okay, so let's, oops, subdivide. Whoa, no, definitely not okay. Now what happened here? Well, it looks like there are several vertices that, maybe it's a better idea to merge them all, alright? So let's, merge. Okay. And then we'll continue onwards. Yep. Okay. We're almost there. Done. Okay, so that was a lot faster than the previous method, wasn't it? Okay, now you can do a Control R and do a loop cut around it. Then you can scale the loop cut and do a bevel. You can make more adjustments, as over here you can see that the loop cut wasn't exactly centered. It's centered over here, you can see, but it's not quite centered along the sides. It's kind of lopsided. So what you can do is you could go to top view, you can do a horizontal scale and all that stuff. We're pretty much done here now, so let's just do a smooth shading, add an edge split modifier, and that should be it. Now if it kind of looks cracky, then I would recommend perhaps increasing the poly count. What do you expect? Hey, it's a low poly model. The squiggly model should be a little bit more high poly. So that's it. I hope you liked the video. Thank you for watching. Bye.